Hello, Fred.
What's up, Doug?
Not much. On the game, first of all, I think that's a season-high assists and season-high bench scoring, 9 guys in double figures. How's it feel when a game's that evenly distributed and that much fun?
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. You probably get a couple of those a year. Seemed like we used to get a lot of those in the past, but we'll take what we can get. I thought we came out with a professional approach, set the tone early, and we were just able to control it from there. But everybody that stepped on the floor tonight contributed in a major way.
I do want to ask you about this morning's announcement about the scholarship and why you feel that's so important to do here locally, and to involve just Black and Indigenous youth.
Well, it's probably been something that's been in the making for a while. Something that I'm very passionate about, which is education and a 4-year degree, and just that experience of going to school and learning about yourself and learning about the world. I know how much I learned when I was in college, and I'm not even the biggest school guy. I probably shouldn't say that, but I think it's just important, and it's even more important to shine light on, people that may not get the look. So all in all, it's it probably was inspired throughout the last 2 years of all the social injustice that was going on around the world, and some of these conversations started, and we ended up on a scholarship, and I'm just happy that it was able to blossom the way it did so quickly. So I'd like to thank obviously U of T and John Wiggins and Tanea Martin, people that helped put it together. But I'm excited about it.
You could have done that closer to home. Why did you want to do it with U of T?
Well, it was a little easier to do here. I'm working on one at home, to be honest with you. I'm working on another scholarship program at home. That one's a little larger scale and a little less funding in Rockford than there is in Toronto. So we're working on that one. But I was trying to make the team, and then I signed a 2-year deal, and I was just trying to get my feet on the ground here in the city. And so now that I'm established here, I've been here long enough. Just important to give back. Just a place that I call my home that has accepted me and my family with open arms from day one. So just a part of that, one to give back and be present, in the community.
What's it in the work?
Again, I think the inspiration was born out of, probably around the bubble time, just working and thinking of ways that, we can set the tone and kind of lead the way and make a change and, impact any way you can. But the actual program was put together, pretty quickly. So I don't really have a timeline for you.
Gibson, one of the most impressive things to him was the fact when you go to do these things, you're only going to do them if diversity is actually shown. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be performative. You're not going to say, why is that important that it actually be in existence before you get involved in these kinds of things?
Because you just, you really just have to set the demand and set the bar. And in my experience, those conversations have been really easy. I haven't really had a conversation where I said, this is what I expect, this is what we need as a community, and the other side say, oh, well, they usually say yes. So you just got to ask for it, you know what I mean, and spark the conversation and spark the change. So it's not always so divisive as we try to make it, but it's just making sure that we are being inclusive and including things that we may not think about, and thinking about biases and certain things that we have without knowing about them. I certainly had them growing up where I grew up at. So it's just about growth and change and being progressive, and hopefully this program can be a statement going forward.
Oversimplification, but is it changing the system from within?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely am probably more radical than most people would like to be, but again, you still have to work with. We have to work with each other. I think these conversations don't need to be so divisive. Like I said, it doesn't have to be a fight every time. I think it's just as simple as, me having a conversation. And if it's something that you didn't think about before, then now you're thinking about it now. And again, just happy to be a part of something that is positive in the city. And, most importantly, is going to affect a young individual and that individual's family. And that's really all that matters.
To ask you about that specifically, because you could have just, not just, but you could have given a bunch of money and watched it go to work. Instead, you're focusing on one individual. Is there something gratifying about that idea of being able to monitor it through one individual versus doing something, broader that's maybe a little hard to track.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Anybody want to donate, or we can find a bunch of money to get everybody scholarships. But I think for this one in particular, just the timing of everything was to focus on one specific individual and make sure it was a 4-year thing. And also offer that mentorship because, as I begin to get older and get more experience in business and even in, my job here is just like having somebody to, pick their brain and be able to learn from. Some of those things are hard to find in textbooks and in class, and you just kind of need that reassurance or direction. And so we wanted to make mentorship a big part of the program as well. So that's something I'm excited about.
If I can ask you one not related to that, obviously just a lot of COVID news everywhere today. What has it been like to play in front of fans, and does the outside news, you obviously had a game postponed that we found out today, how much does it encroach on your day-to-day, and how much do you find yourself thinking about it?
Again, I'll tread lightly here. I think that we're all in it together. I think we're in the mix. There's going to be ups and downs and changes every day. I think it's starting to feel like it used to feel last year and years prior. So we got to, be mindful of that. But again, just continue to try to follow the protocols and keep people's safety and health in the forefront of our minds, and just lead the way in terms of following the rules and all of that. But you just try to keep pushing. I mean, for me personally, I've had to test in the morning the last couple of days, so I've missed a few shoot-arounds. I feel great. So I might request to do testing for the rest of the year at home, so I don't have to go to shoot-around. Just don't tell Nick. So, I'm feeling great. Hopefully we can remain healthy. Obviously we saw what happened with the Bulls, and we certainly went through that last year. So it's going to be ups and downs, but, just trying to stay positive and continue to follow the rules.
Before the game that for him, and he thought for players, the game was an escape. Once you get out there and the ball's up, is that true? To get away from the reality of the world?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're so isolated in our, own little lives that is not much, outside influence anyway. So, me personally, I go to the gym and I go home, and I go to the gym and I go home. So, just being able to escape and go out there and play in front of fans, and that's been the best part about it because there are real life situations going on. So we want to be mindful of people who are obviously dealing with the realness and the severity of COVID and what it's bringing. But at the same time, I think we got to try to do our best to remain positive and keep pushing.
On the court, does it feel like it felt 2 years ago, 3 years ago before everything changed?
I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I'm just trying to enjoy every day as a different day. It's hard to remember what things were like from before, especially now as the new variants and things come out. You got to sift through all the media and the headlines and things like that. So it felt regular, up until about a week or two ago. So I think we're right back in the mix of it. But, I'm confident that we'll get through it.
Congrats on that scholarship. It's great. When you were watching today in the second quarter and Scotty was running with that bench unit, what did you think of how he was kind of orchestrating out there, and what was your impression of what they
Yeah, he was great. He was great. We've been on him to keep being vocal and continue to be a leader, especially with that younger group. And he's got a great IQ for the game. So him being able to call out plays and get guys in the right spots, and that's half the battle sometimes, especially playing with a lead, is just being organized, making sure we're getting a shot. He was great defensively. I just thought he had an all-around good floor game tonight. But you're seeing the growth, and he's getting more comfortable with what we do and with our system. And, if he can continue to grow at this pace, it's going to be a problem.
Thank you.
Fred, you had a double-double tonight.
Yes, he did.
What did you see? What have you seen, or what's the difference since he came back from that summer with his national team?
I think he's just realizing the opportunity that's in front of him and just understanding how to take advantage of it. I think that's a hard fine line to walk when you're trying to make it and you're trying to get solidified. You don't want to be overly aggressive, but you don't want to be passive. And I think he's just getting comfortable. I think having injuries and things like that makes you more hungry, and he just looks a lot more assertive and aggressive when he's out there. And I'm certainly going to stay on him to be aggressive. That's the only chance he has. So he was great tonight, first double-double. He looked like he was going to pass out a couple times, but, he can be a good piece for us, and we just need him to continue to grow and be aggressive. Thanks, guys. Oh, sorry, JQ. Hi, JQ.
Sorry, I have 3 questions for you online. Guys, we're going to have to run to the airport, so if you wouldn't mind Fred has to run to the airport, so if you wouldn't mind going one each. So go ahead, Josh.
Sorry, Fred, you only played 26 minutes today. So
Yeah, this is the real work.
Congrats again on the scholarship. That's an amazing initiative, man. Delano and Malachi both gave you guys really good minutes tonight. Delano before he got sick. How much pressure does that take off of you guys as starters, and specifically you at that position?
It takes a lot of pressure off because we have pieces, and I think it's just about making them work together and just having multiple creators and ball handlers and people who can initiate and get us in the offense. I think that's one thing that we were lacking for a lot of the years, just having multiple guys who can get in the paint and create shots for themselves and for others. And both of those guys have been consistently growing throughout the year, and they played well tonight. They came in and gave us a boost, and that's going to help the bench unit. So with that, they're going to earn more trust from the coaching staff, and they're going to get more confident and be able to find that rhythm and that energy. And we're definitely going to need those guys throughout the course of the year.
Thanks, Fred. Safe trip.
Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Fred, you had a line in your release today about talking about how sometimes 18-year-old kids don't really know what their future path can be. What sort of advice would you give yourself looking back as an 18-year-old, looking at your journey and your growth over the last decade?
Well, I was right. I think that's what I would tell myself. I was right. Again, man, I think, I've been matured, I think, throughout my life experiences and certain things that I went through, so it allowed me a different perspective. But, young kids that I, encounter, I just tell them to don't try to skip the process. You can't skip steps, and you're going to fail, you're going to mess up, you're going to bump your head, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. And I think, the biggest thing is just to remain true to yourself throughout all of that, and understand that, the beauty is in the journey of whatever it is that you're trying to achieve and you're trying to get to, and not necessarily so much the everyday, because we look at our phones and we try to, measure our success off of the rest of the world that we're looking at, which is not real. And I think just staying true to yourself and having that self-awareness will allow you to get through some of those tougher moments. So probably just stick to it and remain confident and continue to, put your head down and go to work.
Thanks, Adam. And last question is going to go to Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
Hey, thanks a lot, Fred. Just quick, you guys have played 15 home games at this point. The big picture, I wonder, mentally, physically, what's it felt like to play in front of Toronto crowds again, if you're not experiencing that for 18 months or so?
It's been a blessing for us, man, just to get that love back in the arena and that type of energy. We certainly missed it last year in Tampa. We missed it in the bubble. So just getting back, we didn't start, the way we wanted to in terms of our record, but I feel like we're starting to get comfortable playing at home, and these young guys are understanding what it takes to use the crowd and to get the crowd into it. So we just got to continue to take that and use it to our advantage. And it's been a blessing, like I said. So definitely don't want to overlook or underestimate the impact that we have, because when we're at our best, this is probably the best home court you could find in the NBA. And I just want these guys to be able to experience that, and we got to be a good team to experience it at its best. And I think we're getting there.